What's up, guys? Recently, a lot of people have been asking me, what is a good deal in real estate? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to go over what you need to know in order to find a good deal in real estate. Real estate is one of the best ways to make money as well as create long-term wealth. The problem is, not a lot of people know how to invest in real estate. Even a lot of real estate agents who deal with real estate every single day have no idea what they're doing. They know how to sell and buy real estate, but they don't know how to make money in real estate. I find it so surprising because most real estate agents don't even own their own real estate. How can they advise other people on what to buy and what not to buy, or when to sell or when to not sell? Because of this lack of information and education, a lot of people are just afraid to get into real estate. Everyone seems to want to wait for the perfect deal, but they don't know what the perfect deal looks like. So even if it's sitting right in front of their face, they won't know to capitalize on it. Real estate is an industry where knowledge is key. The more you know, the more likely you're going to succeed. My goal is to help you, the people of YouTube, learn more about real estate investing so when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready to capitalize on it. So if you want to know more about real estate investing, please hit the subscribe button so you can see more of my videos. So real estate, like all other forms of investing, is about balancing risk and reward. Everyone wants to make the most money that they can with the least amount of risk. So that's basically what a good deal is. A deal where you can make a lot of money, but with little risk. Now here comes the complicated part. Multiple people can look at the same property but see different things. They see a different level of gain and they also see a different level of risk. Now you must be thinking to yourself, it's the same property. How can the reward and risk be different? So let me just give you a general example so you can understand what I'm talking about a little better. Let's say, for instance, there's a house that costs $800,000 and it's a pretty beat up house. You need to spend another $200,000 to fix it up and get it ready to rent or sell. After you fix it up, this house is worth $1.2 million. Sounds like a great deal, right? It only costs $1 million and you get $1.2 million at the end. Now let's say you don't have the money and the seller is only accepting cash offers. You don't have this $1 million to invest. So what are your options? You can only go to a hard money lender to borrow that $1 million. Now, if you go to that hard money lender, they might charge you like 12% interest rate, 2 to 4 points, which is basically a fee, 2 to 4% of the loan amount to borrow that money. Now, after taking that into account, this deal seems less and less good. Now your returns will be lower and also you have an increased risk. What if something happens and you need to spend 1.5 years to finish the renovations? The interest payments are going to slowly eat away from your profits and it just becomes not worth it anymore. The risk just gets too high. Let's say there's another investor who has $1 million in the bank and he's done several deals that look exactly like this. He has the experience, he knows the contractors. For him, this deal is an easy 20% gain. To someone like that, this is a great deal. Now let's say there's a third investor who has $100 million in the bank and he's trying to invest that. Well, he wouldn't even look at this deal. To him, it's not even worth the time. He's looking at properties with several hundred units. Now, I'm not trying to say money is the only factor. Expertise and experience can also play a huge role. I'm based out of New York City, so let's say I want to buy a property in Philadelphia. I have no idea what Philadelphia looks like. I have no idea which neighborhood is good. Sometimes just a different block will make a huge difference. So if I were to buy something in Philadelphia, the risk would be substantially higher than someone who's grown up and lived in Philadelphia for like 25 years. They probably know that area like the back of their hand. They can tell you which area is good, which area is bad. Oh, some person just got robbed over there the other day. This neighborhood is good, that neighborhood is good. The rents are going up here, the property values are going up there. They obviously have more knowledge and expertise than me in Philadelphia, so to them, the risk is much lower than to someone like me. There are also multiple ways to invest in real estate. Just because you're an expert in one field doesn't mean you know anything about the other. So that's the beauty of real estate. There's so many opportunities and these opportunities are different for everyone. So you just need to be good at what you're doing. There are people who get rich only investing in single families. There are people getting rich investing in 2 to 4 units. There are people getting rich in 40 unit buildings, 100 unit buildings, commercial properties, land investing, flipping, developing. There's so many different ways you can invest in real estate and all of them work. So you just need to figure out what works for you. So for me, a good deal is something that's a 6% cap rate. 6% cap rate means that if you add up all the rents that you're gonna collect within 1 year, subtract all of the expenses, and divide it by the value of the property, that has to equal 6% or greater. So for example, if a property costs $1 million, then it needs to make at least $60,000 a year after expenses. Now I'm not talking about mortgage. So a 6% cap rate means that you pretend that there's no mortgage on this property. Just pretend that you're buying this property in cash. You take the rental income that you're gonna get in a year, subtract all of the expenses such as property tax, insurance, utilities, all the bills. Then you just divide that by the value of the property. So a 6% cap rate means that a property that costs $1 million produces $60,000 after expenses. That's the deal that I look for if the property is in a move-in ready condition. These numbers can be different depending on where you are and where you want to invest in. For example, if you're in Indiana, nobody would accept a 6% cap rate. If a property is selling at a 6% cap rate, everyone would just run away. It's not even worth it. So it really depends on which area you're from. Investors in Manhattan, New York might only expect 3 to 4% cap rate. And that's because, well, that area is considered safe. They don't expect the property to lose value. But if you invest in other areas with higher cap rates, the price of that property might plummet 30-40% in a recession. So it's all about risk and reward. Now, if the property needs a lot of work, then I expect to make $1 for every dollar that I spend. So let's say a property costs $500,000 and needs $100,000 worth of renovation. If the property is worth at least $700,000 afterwards, that means that whatever I spent in renovation has doubled. That's basically what I look for. I would also never buy anything that's newly renovated because a newly renovated property just means that someone else already made the money. They spent the money to fix it up and then charged you a premium for it when you buy it. I don't mind doing construction work because I've dealt with contractors before. I have several contractors that I've worked with in the past, and to me, calling them up, getting a couple bids, and doing the project is fairly simple. But to somebody else, they might not like doing the work, so they're okay paying the premium. In this deal over here, I spent $130,000 in renovation and I increased the value by $320,000. To me, that's an amazing deal. I made a lot more than I was expecting to, but to somebody else, this was a property that was run down, beat up, had 280 violations from the city. They didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. It wasn't easy for me to do all the renovation because there was a lot of mold, asbestos, lead-based paint, water damage, just all sorts of issues. But at the end of the day, it was definitely worth it for me because I'm okay with doing that work and I had experience with doing that work. So the takeaway to this video is a good deal looks different for everybody. You need to have the knowledge to look at a specific deal and evaluate it, and also be able to evaluate your current situation and your risk tolerance. I would definitely recommend starting small if it's your first deal. If it's your first deal, try to get something that doesn't need that much renovation. Something that you can buy and then rent out right away and be able to cover your mortgage. If you're in an 8 to 10% cap rate area, try to find something that's at least 8% that you can buy and rent out right away. Then use that as a learning experience on how to actually go through the closing process. Then after you've done that, work your way up to doing something that requires a little bit of work on your next deal. If you have a lot of construction experience, then you could jump right in and buy a fixer-upper or fix it up and then rent it out. The key is to learn and make more money so later on you have more and more opportunities. Wow, I spent a lot more time than I thought just doing the introduction. Yeah, this topic is gonna definitely need multiple videos to cover. So in this video, it's basically just the introduction. I'm gonna go more in depth about how you actually make money so you can evaluate the upside. And then I'm gonna make another video about how you can evaluate the risk more to minimize your downside. And I definitely need to make a video about how you can find opportunities. So look forward to all of that in future videos. And that's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching.